few more minutes left. We have a few more minutes.
Hi, everybody. Hello, could you hear me? I hope I am sounding. Oh, thank you, thank you. I hope I'm sounding clear. So, hi everyone. Good afternoon. It's great to have every one of you here. I want to thank um all of you for choosing to spend a part of your afternoon with me with ACPN. I hope that you and your family are doing well. So, yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah, sure.
let's begin. Growing language through play, engaging your child in meaningful interaction. So, we're going to talk about pivotal techniques and importance of play. And our goal this afternoon is to keep this practical, um, simple and useful for you. So let me just introduce myself. I am Carla. I'm a speech and language pathologist from American Center for Psychiatry and Neurology, and I will be your speaker for today. I'm just wondering if you guys can see my slides. Amazing. Okay, so just a quick information about ACBN. So we provide services medical services such as neurological, psychiatric, psychological, and rehabilitation treatment. And for corporate services, we provide facilitating training and professional development programs ranging from medical seminars and conferences to corporate courses and, of course, workshops. All right, so moving on. Ready. What if the most powerful way to grow your child's language is not through formal teaching, but through play? Some of you might already be aware of this, and some of you might be hearing it for the first time. And that's completely okay. We're here to support you and guide you through it. So, what is play really?
Yeah, Minecraft's acting.
So, play is recognized as a child's primary occupation where essential skills such as language,
Okay, yeah.
cognition, and social interaction naturally develop. So, play can be underestimated as something not really relevant, but in fact, it is a vital activity for our children. Through meaningful play experiences, our children actively construct their understanding of the world. So it might look very simple for us adults, really, but when children play, they are leading their own learning. And by following their lead, we can support language development in the most natural and meaningful way. So when children play, they are leading their own learning, as mentioned. So by following their lead, um, we can support them in order for them to discover and experience the world by themselves. We can say that sometimes what they're doing does not make sense to us adults, but little did we know it is when their creativity and imagination are most active and developing. It is important to take note and to understand that play is not a break from learning, but it is actually how children learn language best. So let's just have a discussion about the myths about play and what is evidence-based truth. So what they usually say is that play is just for fun and not for learning, and it's not being productive in the eyes of adults. But in reality, play is actually one of the most powerful ways children learn. And they also say that children need structure activities more than free play. But yes, I mean, they do need structured activities. So structured activities are they have values as well. value as well, but too much can limit their creativity. Free play actually helps children explore, imagine, and initiate communication on their own. I usually tell the parents of my kids that sometimes we can actually give them and like we can intentionally give them a boring time, because it is when they feel bored that they actually like make use of what is available around them. So it also, as mentioned earlier, it enhances their creativity with what they have at the moment. So they also say that play should always have a common goal or outcome. In reality, not all play needs a clear end product. Open-ended play allows children to experiment and build flexible thinking skills. Another myth is that adults should lead play to make it educational. Um, uh, the truth is, children learn best when adults follow their lead. Over directing can actually reduce opportunities for communication and independence. Um, uh, they also say that quiet or independent play isn't as valuable. The truth is, independent play builds attention, self regulation, and problem solving skills. Play is less important as children get older. The truth is, play continues to support language, social interaction, and emotional development across all ages. So even though they're 7 years old already or 8 years old already, it doesn't really matter. Play still gives them an opportunity to learn in different areas or ages or development stages. And last one is that they say that toys are needed for good play. The truth is, children don't need expensive toys. Everyday objects and interaction often create richer language opportunities. So those are the myths and the facts about what play is. So how are we going to relate or use play in order to develop language? We're going to discuss it next. So again, growing language through play. So the techniques that I will be sharing with you is, or we're going to base it through in real, or we call it reactive learning. It is a natural, so in real or interactive learning is a naturalistic educational um and sorry. Is it working now? There. I'm so sorry about my camera. I have been troubleshooting it. So it's now working. Hi again, I'm Carla and I'm your speaker today. Nice to see you. So yeah, going back, so at with the techniques that I'll be sharing with you, we're going to use the InReal interactive learning. So it is a naturalistic educational approach that has been used with variety of children, designed to be used in a classroom, clinic, or home environment. So I believe with us, we have here parents, we have here teachers, and maybe other colleagues of mine. So InReal is also recognized or recognizes that children acquire language by interacting with their environment and natural conversation. So again, basing it from play, it's sort of like uh, it's sort of approaching them in an environment where they are most comfortable, or they can be expressive with themselves without limitations. So in using this technique, the facilitator's ability to interact and react to child plays a key role in intervention process. So child's acts, wants, reactions, and feelings must be clarified, restated, and reflected back to them at an appropriate linguistic level. So, successful conversational interaction with children enables us adults to support and expand children's learning. So we now move on to the list of the strategies that we are going to use. So we are going to talk about them one by one. So the first strategy is called the SOUL, or the SOUL. So SOUL stands for silence, observation, understanding, and learning. Why is it important that we just like um uh observe, look at our child? We don't we just shut our mouths and just really see what they are doing. So the adult must use silence to observe and understand the child's action, both verbal and non-verbal, especially the non-verbal behaviors. um Oftentimes, us adults talk to children, but we are not actually with them. So by practicing soul, the adult can express to the child that um, I'm ready to listen and talk with you, and I will follow your lead. So by using silence, the adult understands the child's communicative efforts and respond to him or her in a meaningful manner, and not just random words or random response. So when we understand, or when we see what the child is doing, we can actually like think of an appropriate response that we can actually give to the child. So the second technique is mirroring. So when we say mirroring, it's joining and reflecting the child's nonverbal expressive behaviors. For example, if the child shakes his or her hand, and the adult imitates the movement, the adult has mirrored the child. So this technique helps the adult to establish a relationship with the child and begins a nonverbal conversation that includes turn taking and responding. So for the picture that we are seeing, when the child actually lifted the yellow car, the adult also lifted the green car. So the adult was able to mirror what the child did. So the next technique that you can use is called the self-talk. So the self-talk is when the adult talks about what he or she is doing or thinking or feeling. So it's all about associating words with actions and events. For example, in this picture, the mom says, "I'm pushing the car." So the mom is not just pushing the car, or not just saying random things. It's all about for her, like labeling what she is actually doing. The next one is called the parallel talk. When we say the parallel talk, the adult describes the child's actions, thoughts, or feelings. So for self-talk, the adult is labeling what he or she is doing, while for parallel talk, we are actually labeling what the child is doing. So these techniques helps associate words with actions and events. So say for example, in this picture, the mom could say, "You're pushing the car." It sounds really simple, but as adults, really, we need to be like aware, or really conscious about what we are seeing, and of course what we are providing, or like the stimulation that we are providing to our child. So the next is called the vocal manual monitoring and reflecting, or the VMR. So when we say the VMR, it's when the adult listens to what the child has said and then says it back conversationally. So this technique allows the child to know he or she has communicated and encourages more talking. So the adult can also correctly restate what the child has said incorrectly. Say for example, the child says da eep, or the adult can actually respond with dog sleep. In this picture, if the child says um uh car dra, so the adult can actually respond by saying car driving. So the next technique is called the expansion. When we say expansion, the adult listens to what the child says and respond by adding to the child's words and building ideas. So this technique basically helps in building new vocabularies, as well as helping the child combine his present vocabularies with say for example additional um, let's say adjective or action words. For example, the child could say truck, and the adult can actually respond with red truck or driving red truck. So from one word, which is truck, we added an adjective, which is red, or another example is that when a child says red truck, we can actually add an action word, which is driving red truck. So little by little, one vocabulary on top of the other vocabulary, we are actually expanding their utterances. So the next one is called the modeling. So when we say the modeling, it's when the adult actually listens and converses using or without using the child's words, and maintains and expands the child's topic through conversation. So it's teaching a child a total different form of sentences. So this technique helps in building new vocabularies, as well as helping the child combine his present vocabularies. For example, oh no, no, no. Oh, here, sorry. S- Sorry about that. Um, Again, with modeling, it is because using their words and then expanding them helps children construct and develop their communication skills. For example, the child could say ball, and the adult can actually respond by let's play catch. So we modeled a different term or different word combinations or different sentences that the child can actually use in the next instance or the next context that he is experiencing. So all those strategies mentioned actually help allow adults to promote language development in children without the need for direct correction. So it's naturalistic, without any force or like um, a demand on them, prioritizing connection versus compliance. So at this point, I'm going to discuss additional strategies that you could still use, especially at home. So the first strategy that we are going to discuss is called the obstacle. So for obstacle, it is intentional situations created to encourage communication by giving the child a reason to use language. So it is important that we do not overuse this strategy, and it's important to keep this as a positive experience for a child. For example, you can actually intentionally put the cookie into a jar that we know that the child cannot open, and that way we are going to give the child an opportunity to communicate the need for help, reaching to adult, and basically like coding I need help or I need to open. So if they begin to get frustrated, you can actually try taking a break from this technique. So the next technique is called withholding. So withholding is intentionally adding a small challenge or delay when a child wants or needs something. So withholding is a strategy that can implement in order to vocalize their needs. So In a regular basis, it is easy for us parents to anticipate the needs of their child, but this can sometimes discourage their child from verbal communication. So it doesn't really make sense to say for a child to say, "I want cookie," or "I want help," when we already is giving help, or the food or the object that the child wants. So when your child wants something, have them vocalize it first before you actually give it to them. So next one is verbal routines. So it is a phrase you use consistently during certain routines. So it is as simple as 1, 2, 3, open, 1, 2, 3, close. So by creating verbal routines, you will expose your child to predictable language throughout the day and eventually encourage them to participate in it. So you can actually keep them short, and once your child becomes familiar with them, encourage them to complete the phrase while doing the routine. Next one. The next one is giving choices. So a phrase you use consistently during certain routines. So this is a great strategy to expand your child's vocabulary, encourage communication, and give agency to your child and their schedule throughout the day. So say for example, in this picture, do you want an apple or do you want a cookie? So in that way, say for you in an instance that the child does not know the other option, you're actually like teaching them a vocabulary, and giving them also the authority to actually choose based from their preference. And the last strategy, and basically the most important strategy, is repeat. It is important for us to consistently repeat what we are trying to teach, or the stimulation that we are providing to our children. Sometimes feeling like a broken record can be a good thing. So it's good for your child to hear certain phrases repeated to them, as it increases their familiarity with language and vocabulary, because it takes a lot of repetition before a child actually acquires a new vocabulary. So, um, in essence, language doesn't grow from pressure, it grows from connection more than compliance. So every small interaction we have, every word we model, and every moment that we pause and listen, it all matters more than we think. Because you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. And it's all about really trying to learn how our kids learn, and not actually thinking of how or like us thinking that this is the way that they should learn. It's more of teaching what is the best way for them to learn, because there's like every kid learns differently, so it's really important that we understand how they learn, and that's the way or the modality that we are going to provide them. So thank you for being here today and for the role you play in helping communication come to life. So if there are any questions, I would be very happy to um, answer them. I hope you are able to understand each technique, and able to apply them in the future at home, in the clinic, or in the school. So everyone is welcome for any questions. Are there any questions? Thank you as well, everyone, for being with me this afternoon.
Hi, Carla. Thank you so much for presenting to us all. Thank you so
Thank you. You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.